Okay. On older business, I couldn't get a hold of Philip Johnson at WRTD today. I tried, but he wasn't in apparently, so I don't have any updates on that. Unless anybody else has an update on transit, we'll just go through it. Go by that one. The bicycle master plan update. I guess the only thing I could say about that is I haven't talked to the new town planner yet, and it's pretty much in her lap, I believe. So I would just ask staff to just check in with Jennifer and see if there's anything we can do. We meaning those who helped write the plan. Is there anything we can do to help her, get it through the next step, which my understanding would be, her review and editing, and then shipping it probably to council to send to the appropriate advisory committees for their input. So if you or Derek or someone will just check in with her, that's all we can do at this point, I think. On complete streets, I sent you in the agenda packet. Yeah, I went through that rating exercise that we did last time and changed a couple of things based on our conversations. One is I took out the rating about the volume of traffic, because at the end of the meeting, we were talking and saying, well, if the traffic's going slow and it's calmed, then it really doesn't matter how much traffic it is. So it's really speed of traffic. So I eliminated that one. And then we changed a few other things in the rating thing very, very slightly. And then redid the spreadsheet and came out with some new rankings. And I don't know that it's worth going through every single item. It's just that some of the roads that we were looking at, the road segments, make sense. And some of them are going to be very difficult. And so when you look down on page 4, the spreadsheet rank and rating scores, the best road for being a complete street at the moment is Spring Hill Road in front of the middle school. That's not the rest of Spring Hill Road. That's just the part from Clover Mill to Spring Hill, or from Clover Mill to Maple. But Hunting Lodge Road still rates pretty high, except that it needs traffic calming because the traffic goes pretty fast through there, but it does have separate bike and pedestrian facilities. It's just not friendly within the street. And anyway, some of the thoughts that I had just, and this is really, me talking to the staff with your suggestions as well, rest of the committee, is that there are some places that we can do some things to make them more complete. And for example, Bolton Road extension just needs something to do. We have to do something with bicycles. It's already got sharrows and it has wide sidewalks, and traffic doesn't go real fast there. This is a very short street. So that's a good candidate, as is maybe Dog Lane, if Dog Lane was either closed or made one way. That little section of Dog Lane that's in the new downtown area. And then there's a couple of very good candidates if we had traffic calming, and one of them we've talked about quite a bit, which is South Eagleville Road. If we had a roundabout or two there on the
Maple
western end, that would help calm the traffic there.
Are you talking about right by the senior center? Is that where you are right now?
Well, I'm talking about South Eagleville Road all the way from 195 to Separatist.
Yeah, okay.
And the town is looking at a roundabout at Maple. And we've asked them to keep looking at one at Separatist. And there is a plan that they showed at one of our previous meetings where they were talking about making it a boulevard and having enhanced crosswalks at Eastwood and Westwood, and maybe even protected bike lanes.
Yes.
Yeah, so that continues to be a good.
What does it, I'm sorry, what does it mean if it's a boulevard? What, I don't,
Well, that would mean that there's a median strip pretty much the whole length of the road.
Somewhere to downtown stores where there's some medians on 195. It'll
Like
be more than that.
yellow line. Yellow,
No, an actual
oh, the
Concrete
divider,
divide,
Right.
or divider.
plantings.
yeah, planted dividers. Because it's been shown that helps slow traffic quite a bit,
Mhm.
because the lane's a little narrower and it's not like a big highway. It becomes more of a
And that's part of the community challenge grant that the town got for the affordable housing that Eagleville Green, which is the grass field across from the housing authority. And, you know, they need a sewer, so we've hired an engineering firm to help design that, the pedestrian improvements, the road improvements, the sewer line. So it's moving forward, so hopefully in 3 years we see it. And that includes designing the roundabout, whether the roundabout, we have the funds for that, we'll have to see.
Right.
Check.
So anyway, at this point,
Sam is here, okay.
we're good.
Hello, Sam.
Hi, sorry about that. Thank you for the text, John.
Anytime. I would have sent it sooner had I thought. I didn't even realize I had your number, but being interim, I guess, helped.
Yeah, I just lost track of time.
All right.
So there's 4 of us on the committee here. And there's 8 members of the committee and 1 pending resignation. Well, no, not a resignation.
No, it's 5 here. You got 3,
Yeah.
4, 5.
Five.
We're good.
Oh,
We're good.
I can't count. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yourself, don't forget yourself.
Yeah, I got that here. Who am I missing?
Herman,
Alex,
Sam, Christine, and Alex.
3 online, 2 of.
Oh. I got you. I didn't have you on here. I thought
Which you,
Mr. Gupta was you.
okay.
All right, well then, let's go back and approve the minutes of December 6th, which hopefully you got. Any corrections or additions? All right, if not, I'll entertain a motion to approve them.
I would so motion,
Is that Alex?
correct.
That's Sam.
That was Alex.
Okay, Alex. Any second?
Seconded.
Okay. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Passed unanimously. All right, so we were just concluding a look at the information that I sent out that was revised about the complete streets and indicating that there are a number of places on our short list that could be, with a little bit of tweaking, become complete streets. And that would include Spring Hill Road in front of the middle school, which is part of the Maple Road project. And that will have, at least leading up to the middle school driveway, that should have facilities for pedestrians, bicycles, and vehicles. Hunting Lodge Road still works pretty well because of where it serves. It's just, it would need some significant traffic calming to make it a complete street. South Eagleville Road, as we were just talking about, is a good possibility, and the town has somebody working on that as well to make it safer all the way around and more complete. And then there's a couple of streets in downtown that could be tweaked into complete streets, one of which is Dog Lane, could be made one way. Bolton Road Extension, possibly, it's very short. So anyway, encourage you to look through and or comment on the little analysis that we did. And it's really largely for the benefit of the staff. It's a way that you can look at, you know, some of these things and when possible, move some of these forward. Another example is Wilbur Cross Way, which is the road, for those of you who don't remember or don't know, it's from the transportation center to the post office. It's Wilbur Cross Way. And it has good sidewalks and it has fairly calm traffic. And the suggestion would be to make that a reverse angle parking. Instead of pulling into parking as you're driving forward, you go past the parking and you angle in. You change the angle so that you angle in. And then when you pull out of your parking spot, you're not going to back over a bicyclist because he's right in front of you, he or she. And that reverse angle parking has been used in downtown New Britain. And I did call them. I apologize if I'm stating something I already said, but they still have it and they like it. So that's something to look at for Wilbur Cross Way, because that would then make it a little safer for bicyclists as well as pedestrians on that section of that street. And it would be cheap because all you'd have to do is restripe the parking and put up some signs explaining how to park. Some diagrams and arrows so it's showing how people back in. I'm sure they have some of those in New Britain. We could easily find out what they use. So that's all I've got on complete streets. Anybody else want to chime in on that?
Juan, this is Alex. Would it make sense for us to like have a motion to prioritize a couple as recommendations to the town? Like, would that be useful, John, to you? Or I don't know if Sam has any thoughts from the.
How about we give them a little time to respond rather than, you know, I mean, I'm a little worried that this is a one-person analysis, but if we give it to them and say, could you respond to this? And then we'll make a recommendation. That gives him an opportunity to say, I don't agree with X. And we could talk about that rather than just saying, you know, here's our recommendation.
Yeah, I don't need a motion since I'm on the committee. If we were taking it to the council, we probably want a motion, but if
Yeah.
we're just giving it to staff to look at, to come back, hopefully
Well,
next meeting with.
Could you come back with some feedback
Yeah.
as to how they feel about this? You know, knowing that we're pushing this. And this then gives them an opportunity to respond.
I mean, the other thing is, right, this was designed to be just the like low hanging fruit ones, right? I mean, and that's that there's not really like a importance or a, you know, because there are other streets that might be also high need, but they're not as easy to get at, right?
Right, like the rest of Spring Hill Road, we talked about that.
Right. I mean, there are others too, right? I mean, like right by the middle schools or right by the high school or right by the new elementary school. I mean, the new elementary school is kind of, but you know, there's a lot of streets that like, you know, I guess Wormwood Hill Road is right there. Other streets that feed down into the middle, the elementary school that would be expensive and difficult. But would potentially address a lot of kids. So I don't know how to communicate that like this is just an attempt to,
right,
From last meeting with Derek and I played around with looking at the map I put up here. You know, maybe Spring Hill, with all the difficulties it is gonna give us, maybe we make some kind of through the woods connection. Either to Max Felix or Fieldstone or these apartments here. So then people who live all along here can go down Mansfield City, get either through Jonathan or White Oak. Is that the name of the road? Why am I-
that's a steep, White Oak's a pretty steep hill though. to go
Oh,
up.
I know, but it's be a lot easier. We can make it, try to make it user friendly.
Yeah.
To get to the connection here, which this is a neighborhood road. I don't know how the neighborhood would feel, but then you're getting over to our complete street bike path on Maple that they can take to the middle school or take to the senior center, to take to the loop that's gonna take you all around campus. We just saw that as maybe an easier fix.
Mhm.
you wouldn't have to take all those trees down right next to everybody's front yard.
Yes, and
Yeah.
trying to widen the road with all the wetlands impacts, it might. I haven't even walked the ground, I haven't even, like you said, it's steep, I believe you, I haven't been there, but just something that we'd like to research more.
I mean, it's not too, like, right before to get to the White Oaks, to get onto that trail isn't so steep. I didn't know if you, yeah, I guess you were talking about going onto the dirt trail there.
Yeah, but we would make it either stone dust or potentially pave it, something that makes it more, kid friendly.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, I appreciate being creative. That's what we need to do, right?
Right, right.
I don't know.
That'd probably be a whole lot cheaper than dealing with Spring Hill Road.
And if you are mountain bikers, you want to bike it and tell me which way to connect to Max Felix is better than Fieldstone, or this one here, we'd have to cross this Sawmill Brook to get to the apartments. That would get us closer to the middle school from Jonathan Lane, but
Right.
I thought that was a little more hazardous as far as what we'd have to do to get there.
Yeah.
But we do listen to what you say, so I just wanted to try to solve the problem.
Having like looked over Lon's kind of prioritizations, I wouldn't do it very differently myself. So even though it was kind of a one-man show, I mean, I think it makes a ton of sense. And I do think there's huge value to attempting to do like the Dog Lane, Wilbur Crossway first, because it's good visibility. So there'd be public, engagement on a wide level, whether it's positive or negative, and we could move forward from there.
Yeah, I think I agree. It's a great effort and a great way to think about this, and but I mean, and also that loop to Separatist is pretty important too, because there's a lot of, students living there and kids that would help. I feel like that would help the high school too.
I think that the town council will definitely be open to supporting something like this, especially since there's been an analysis by the town. John, I don't know if you feel like we can get this on the agenda if you want to talk to Ryan, and then I can, voice my support of it. And I agree that the prioritization that that we're seeing here, I'm all on board with that. And especially, if there's low hanging fruit, we're definitely wanting to put resources to, being on track with getting up to speed, and then, being able to just do maintenance on the roads. But I have heard from a number of town council members that it's not just about repaving the roads, because they want the complete streets as much as possible, or at least the safety for, non motorized drivers or users.
I'd like staff to take a little look at it, then, get it on the council agenda after this committee says this is where we want to go. As far as, because there's going to be, I already know downtown people are not going to be happy with one-way roads and parking. So there's some education that's got to go on there.
Right. Okay, well, I'm not sure if we I'm not sure of the timeline here. We're not going to meet again scheduled until April 13th as a committee. So if you massage this and come back with something, we could have a special meeting, you know, towards the end of February.
And unfortunately, I gotta submit my budget in 12 days, so I won't have a number for any of this. I don't think that, I know I won't by then. I can throw a number at it, but and it
Right.
can always be added on. I mean, town meeting might be a time to throw it on too.
Well, if what we're talking about is doing some, you know, preliminary design and or striping and signage.
Yeah.
You know, those, you have budgets already that deal with striping and
Oh, yeah,
signage.
no, that, I'm not, the striping sign. Downtown's gonna be more of a, I gotta get the partnership and
Oh, yeah,
them to buy off. That's
right,
gonna,
right. Yeah, there's no,
it's not as simple as
yeah,
the process, if it's approved, would be simple to just paint the signs, but it's.
yeah, no, I understand, and that's not something that, you know, we would have to try to ram down any, but that's something that's got to be talked through and people need to go look and see where it works and what the signs look like and so on and so forth, so anyway, I guess then if everybody's comfortable, we'll send this to staff and ask them to massage it a little bit and get back to us. And then we can come up with some kind of motion to send it forward to the council, I guess.
Can I ask another question real quick? Sorry, but I wonder why you have North Eagleville Road as being so much less important access than South Eagleville Road. I mean, I guess it's already wider and it doesn't feed as much into the high school. Is that what it is?
Part of North Eagleville Road, which is closer to 32 is narrow.
Well, the part of North Eagleville Road I was thinking of is from Bone Mill Road up to the edge of the campus, which is Lodge Road. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. And
Right.
it, I guess in my way of thinking, it didn't access in that period of time or in that segment, it didn't access as much as South Eagleville Road did in terms of both the neighborhoods, the senior center, the downtown.
Definitely more population in that segment of South Eagleville than that segment of North.
Yeah, North Eagleville does have North Eagleville, those apartments.
Northwood Apartments.
Northwood, yeah,
Yukon, yeah.
and Yukon on the other end.
Yeah.
But after you go past Northwood, it's not a whole lot there that as compared to South Eagleville, where you've got the senior center and all those condos and everything.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. I was just thinking of the other segment. And then are there a lot of families off Separatist, or is that mostly students? Because I was just thinking of that area along Separatist that goes to North Eagleville or South Eagleville, sorry. Is that an access that a lot of kids would use to get to the high school, or we don't have a lot of people that would go south along that Separatist, or we don't know that?
There's two neighborhoods that I'm not sure I know I can't even think of the name. It's an older neighborhood. They were blocked in during the storm. Why can't I'm trying to, I'm
Hillcrest and,
thinking of we paved it a couple of years ago. I can't.
yeah, it's not Hillcrest, right behind
Yeah.
Yukon.
Glendale, is that it?
No, it wasn't Hillendale's one of them, but Linwood.
Yeah, Linwood,
Ridge and all this area here. There's families in these developments. There's also students, but on Separatist itself, it's mostly student rentals. But
Right. I mean, my question was just about that, like who it would benefit to have that be a complete street? Like, I was trying to imagine how many people would potentially use it. I mean, I know it's a loop for like running and biking and stuff in the winter, I think. But I just didn't know if there were a lot of people that would use it to like get to the high school, for example, or not.
I think if they lived in these neighborhoods and they wanted to bike and they felt safe on their neighborhood road, that they could get over to Separatist bike path and
Yeah, it already has a bike path, so maybe that, yeah.
Well, it has technically a multi-use path for
Yeah.
Yeah.
both bikes and pedestrians.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, well, thank you for everyone for your comments. So, on to newer business. Do you have any quick updates on any of the DPW proposals for the coming year, John?
nothing that changed from last meeting as far
Okay.
as, you know.
Yeah.
What we're gonna move forward with.
All right. I think that's fine. Then the Yukon Transportation Study. It's interesting, the person at Yukon who's helping with their bicycle friendly stuff and chairing their bicycle working group is Corey Clark. And she asked me the other day if we could get together and start looking at their cross campus routes and how they fit in with our routes, so that we could help coordinate that. So, you know, there's east-west and there's north-south as far as getting through campus. So I said, sure, talking is cheap. You know, we can, I think one of the things that she's worried about is Yukon got their bicycle friendly university status, but they don't have any money allocated to do anything. So she's worried that it's just not really going to make much difference. But if we can start planning for the future as to how the routes that go through Yukon should or would tie in with the routes that we have on the circumference, then that could start something that would be helpful to both communities. So I said, sure, let's meet, let's talk. I'm not sure who we talk with at Yukon, because I don't know that they have a bicycle coordinator per se, like the town doesn't have a bicycle coordinator per se, but talking would be good. So that's all I know about that, is that,
It would probably be their planner at least.
yeah, well,
VPC.
if they have one, I mean, you know,
They're like lead architects at the UDPC group. You've probably met with them, John, yeah?
Yeah, John Basington.
yeah, right. So we could probably get something started with regards to that kind of coordination. So that would be good. And in case you haven't heard, the university did get a bicycle friendly university designation. And hopefully that will help them deal with whenever they have projects, they can use their active transportation plan to implement better active transportation, both bikes and walking on the campus. And the town, believe it or not, got our bicycle friendly community renewed in December. And so I sent, as part of the agenda, I sent the scorecard that they had sent us. And looking at the scorecard, it looks to me like we didn't do so well, but you know, where we got only 16% of this and 18% of that. But apparently, since we were already bicycle friendly 6 years ago, they didn't decide to pull away our designation. But there are a number of things in here that are very helpful in their recommendations. For example, they say we should work more with complete streets. Well, we're already doing that. So their first recommendation. Second is they think the town should develop a design manual to help the engineering and the consultants do designing bike and pedestrian facilities. And so There are a lot of good resources for that. The town hasn't pulled them all together yet to make a manual, but that would certainly be a nice thing to do. They talk about improving our low-stress bike road network. We tried to show the green routes as the low-stress ones and the yellow routes as the higher stress. So that makes sense to me as well. They talk about trying to increase bicycle parking at appropriate places in town. They think we should look into a bike sharing system. And Yukon already has a bike share through their recreation facilities, the recreation office. So that might be something we could work together on. I don't know. I haven't talked to them about that.
Is it paid or
Pardon me?
is it paid? Paid service?
Yeah, I think you rent a bike at the recreation office if you're a student for $50 a semester.
Or unlimited?
They have short-term rentals too, but I don't know what the prices are, but they have almost 100 bikes that they give out each semester. And you rent it, you know, you use it for the semester and you turn it in at the end of the semester.
Oh, so it's yours, it's with you?
Yeah.
All that, okay.
Yeah. They have some short-term one-day bike shares, but they don't have like a city bike share where you pick it up here and leave it
Drop it
over
somewhere
there.
else.
Yeah. But that would, I'm sorry,
Sorry, I don't mean to keep interrupting. Go ahead.
go right ahead.
Okay, thank you. I saw an educational aspect to the scorecard. And I know that from a couple of my discussions with the resident state trooper, you know, he's been certainly trying to get his staff and coordinating with the fire safety, fire chief in terms of additional training and offering free child seat installation. And I wonder if this might be something that we could put on his radar and see if, you know, that might be at least a part of the scorecard that we can get some assistance with.
Yeah, that would be great. Also, I may have mentioned before, Bike Mansfield is working to get a 4th grade education program in the actual Mansfield schools in the 2023-24 academic year. And
Like that.
we're fundraising for that right now, and we met with the superintendent of schools to try to get him to save some money from this year and maybe put a little bit in next year. And we're going out now and hitting up the business members, and they're all in. We've got probably maybe $6,000 or $7,000 pledged so far for this program. The original budget for the first year was $28,000, but that included a $13,000 storage trailer. I've been talking with John about maybe coming up with something that the town already has, or the facilities people already have. And I've also got another lead on a trailer that we might store them in that you get from UPS for $1,500. Somebody just told me about that today. So anyway, between the money that we're raising now and some grants, we might be able to cover this program without having to have a big budget whack in the town or school budget. So we're working on that for 4th grade. Which, by the way, we've already trained the PE teachers last June or a year ago, June, in that.
Do you have a site for that trailer at the new school?
Well, not yet.
Yeah, that may be one of the issues.
Yeah, well, one of the issues will be, what is it going to look like next to a brand new building? But there are ways to paint and to wrap and to do things to trailers that make them look a little nicer. So we'll see. Okay, so anyway, looking through the scorecard, as Sam pointed out, there are a number of interesting recommendations. Not the least of which is, as we are recommending in the bike pedestrian plan, some kind of a appointed, even part-time or even shared with Yukon coordinator position for active transportation. So that's, that's something that would be that they've listed in their feedback as to what we should be doing as a bicycle friendly community.
That would probably fall under Parks and Rec, you think?
Huh?
Would it be like a part-time?
I don't
Would it be
know.
a full-time? Or would
But
it be engineering?
maybe, maybe it could be a shared position with Yukon. Perhaps part-time in both
Right.
places. Yukon has a sustainability office that hasn't had a head for quite a while now, since the previous head retired.
Rich Miller?
Yeah, Rich. So when they get somebody in, we should, talk to them about that.
Would this be a position that we would have to, I assume the council would have to approve it? Like, so would procedurally, would we make a recommendation that the town hire this person and then they approve? I mean, I'm trying to figure out how what the process would be to make that happen.
Right, right.
If it was a new position, that the town council would have to approve it, but if Jay O'Keefe with Parks and Rec was able to reclassify a current employee to have this title as a part-time, or just make that their title, or something like that, then it'd be less of a delay, I guess.
Right, that assumes there's somebody out there who has a half a job that they just aren't doing anything with, right?
Yeah.
I'm
But I
sure
do
the
like-
town has lots of those. Just kidding, town employees. I don't believe that's true.
Yeah, right.
I do like the idea of the town hall applying and taking a lead on this. So then, maybe if it is a position that is necessary, then Ryan can add that into the budget and make the recommendation for a part-time or whatever the case may be.
Right. Well, we might, that might be something that, we can do. I'm thinking in terms of the two hats that I wear, certainly that's something Bike Mansfield would like. But if the Transportation Advisory Committee also thought that would be a good thing to do, based on the needs, we might want to make some recommendations to the town that have some budgetary weight. The easiest way to get into that, as far as I can see, is get the plan going, because the plan calls for that. The bicycle pedestrian plan, the draft, does call for some kind of a part-time or shared position. And so if we can get the plan through the public process and adopted by the town, then it would be easier to move that position forward, I think.
And in that position, in that version of it, does that person include education? Because I think the education of people about how to drive with bicyclists and that their vehicles, and you shouldn't just like run them off the road. I feel like educating people on that is a really important piece of that. And I would love to see the town have, someone dedicated to a lot of these issues, but certainly the education piece in particular, I think would be good. So I guess my question is that plan, is that part-time person that's a part of that other plan for education and
It's-
outreach?
It would include all of that.
Okay,
I'll check with,
Maybe for getting this plan approved, maybe this comes first and this person can be the one who gets the plan.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, because Jennifer probably needs the help of somebody to be the the
Well,
staff.
we, the people that help write the plan are willing to help her. She just has to get a few minutes to tell us what to do.
I'll
Okay.
ask at T Squared too at UConn. There might be some sort of resources at the state or federal level for education on biking that they're aware of.
Okay, we will check that. I will check that.
I can if you want, Lon. I work with them.
Oh, okay, sure. Yeah, well, not only for education, but also, you know, for the whole active transportation, you know, foray of staff, education and facilities.
It's funny because like Federal Highways funds the safety circuit rider, and I think they might be able to dabble with complete streets. I'll ask them about that too and see what they can do for us there.
Okay,
Yeah, I remember when, you know, like when my kids were at the middle school, they had the idea, there's this National Bike to Work Day, and they had this idea to like try to encourage all the students and staff to bike to work, but they were just afraid of, you know, without support. But I think if we had someone in the town whose job it was to sort of help coordinate something like that, to just, you know, again, encouraging bicycling, talking about safety issues, and promoting it, I think, and, you know, working with the university would be good too, but I think that would be great.
I read about these really cool. I mean, it'd be hard to coordinate in our town, but these bike buses in dense urban neighborhoods where parents like kind of cluster around their kids and ride in a big group, stopping traffic down the road. Sounds fun.
right, I've seen that. That makes
Sounds
sense.
dangerous here.
Yes.
Okay, anything else on the bicycle friendly stuff? If not, that's the last thing I had. There are a couple other quick business things here. We were talking the other day, and I don't remember where, about the entrance from UConn's new hockey rink onto Separatist Road, and how the road from the hockey rink, and I don't remember the name of that road.
Jim Calhoun.
Is it Calhoun Way?
Calhoun Way.
That's lit. But when you get to the bike path on Separatist Road, it's not lit. And for obvious reasons, because the town never had a policy to light its bike paths. Except in rare situations. For example, on Hunting Lodge Road, there were so many kids in the street all the time. It was just a public safety issue to put up more streetlights. And the town did put more streetlights on Hunting Lodge Road a few years ago. But anyway, I just bringing that up so you know that in the discussions that I think somebody had, they were saying, well, how come the town doesn't have lights on Separatist Road, particularly near the Jim Calhoun Way? So I'm not sure we're going to solve that tonight, but I pass it on as a something that is worth noting.
I know, and I haven't heard the term much since I first got here, but the night, dark skies, that was a big issue, I guess.
Yeah.
Years ago.
Yeah,
I don't know if there's too many advocates for that now as opposed to safety.
right. Then the other thing I just want to make a quick note of, and we can't do anything about it tonight, but in the revised committee charge that we dealt with late in 2022, there were 5 members from the public to serve on this committee. 2, in addition to 2 from planning and zoning and 2 from the council. So one of the planning and zoning, and we only have one planning and zoning member, one of the alternates is Laurel Manville. And she's resigning from planning and zoning. But she did also say that she would like to continue her involvement with the transportation committee. But since we only have 5 open slots for public, that means we have 6 for 5 seats. So that's just something to think about. The other thing John and I were discussing before the meeting is because we have 2 counselors and 2 planning and zoning people on the committee, and with the exception of Sam, nobody attends. That makes it difficult to get a quorum. So we might consider recommending in the charge that we only have 1 member from the council and planning and zoning. Then we would have 7 total members and a quorum would be 4. However, that may be politically difficult, I understand. So it's just, I put it out for us to think about, and then depending on what Laurel actually does, if she does resign, then we have to figure out whether she just leaves or whether one of us has had enough time serving and we'll leave, and then there'll still be 5. So just put that out there for your consideration. All right, our next meeting will be April 13th unless we get a hot response from staff on the complete streets that we need to make a motion about to carry forward, in which case we'll have a special meeting. If that's it,
I'll prefer March anytime.
yeah, we
I
could
will
do,
not be, February I won't be here.
okay. If that takes care of everything, could we have a motion to adjourn?
So move.
I'm sorry?
I said I'll move it.
Okay. So that's by Christine, seconded by Mr. Gupta. All right, all's in favor?
Aye.
Thank you all for your participation. See
Good
you.
night, everybody. Happy New Year.
Good night.
Happy New Year. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Yeah, we made it an hour. Good.